if we want to step back and take a look at some of those areas with specificity, we can look at a couple of examples. First, if we take a look at the MSN website, it really pulls together a bunch of different areas. Well, again, copyright, trademark, and potentially patent protection can all be seen on that website. For instance, the MSN logo, just the letters MSN. You can see a little registration symbol right after the MSN. That means it's a registered federal trademark of Microsoft. The little butterfly that is next to the MSN symbol, again, it's another trademark. If you go across to the right side of the page, there is this advertisement for a Klondike bar. Well, Klondike bar is a trademark of Klondike or whatever company makes Klondike bars.
Right. And
so from that perspective, each of those companies owns those trademark rights in those different trademarks. So for instance, for MSN to be able to have an advertisement and use somebody else's content, somebody else's trademarked product on their website, they have to work out those rights with the owners of those respective trademarks through advertising agreements, through trademark license agreements and such. From the perspective of copyright content, we see here on the left side of the screen a little video. It says click to play. I'm not really sure of who filmed the content of Aurora Borealis from space, but I'm guessing that that's not MSN, and it's probably content that is captured from NASA or from some other third party. That third party owns the copyright interest in whatever that content is. So again, from MSN's perspective, in order to integrate that content onto their website, they have to have a license from the owner of that copyright. So again, by way of a copyright license, they can lock up those rights. Then from a patent perspective, to the extent that the website deploys any type of unique functionality, that can be covered by patent protection. For instance, if you look up in the upper right-hand corner, the website knows that we're here in Baltimore, and it's pulling content both saying that it's 84 degrees locally, so it's going out and pulling data from a weather server, and it's also looking at our IP address and determining that we are in Baltimore, Maryland. And so there's some coding functionality that went into that. Presumably somebody had to figure out how to make that functionality work. That is kind of functionality that can be protected by patent protection.
Well, as a web strategy consultant, I see the value and advise my clients when they're having these entrepreneurial thoughts and these sites that they want to develop. I strongly urge them to engage with an IP attorney to protect their interests, and or before they go too far down the road, make sure they're not building a concept that then is going to meet with objection. Unfortunately, in my experience, many organizations view intellectual property law and hiring a lawyer as a luxury and something that I think their mindset is, we haven't made a penny yet, we want to cut our expenses and minimize our investment, and therefore they cut that out of the process. I imagine you could tell some stories about why someone should absolutely, and I know it's probably throwing you a softball, and but literally why people should really consider consulting with the IP attorney before they go down the road of full implementation of a web strategy.
Right, absolutely, and I've seen plenty of horror stories, and while I want to be careful not to get into specific details with some of the ones that I've seen, I can speak from the perspective of generalities. The biggest issue that we see is folks spending money on developing new technology. They're spending a lot of R&D, putting a lot of R&D dollars into developing a new technology, getting it deployed out onto the website, not taking steps to protect it up front, and then as soon as that functionality is deployed, competitors see it, say, you know what, that is a great concept. I can reverse engineer that. I can figure out what that functionality is and develop something similar on my own. And competitor sees it, does that reverse engineering, sets up their own competitive website, and is there competing without proper protection up front. The company that originally spent all that R&D money, the R&D money is now gone. It's lost. You know, they've given over this technology that they've developed to their competitors by not having protected it up front. And so the market share that they were hoping about getting by being the first mover with this great new technology, if somebody else is able to reverse engineer it, they're out of luck. The competition is going to be looking to reverse engineer it. And if they can figure out how to do it, they're going to do it. And without patent protection, unfortunately, there's not much a company would be able to do to protect against that reverse engineering. So that's one of the biggest issues.
Well, I have to tell you, A Beer with Mike is all about bringing professionals and experts in their individual disciplines to the table to enjoy a beer casually and have a casual discussion. I appreciate your time. Clearly, you get this IP law. I've learned something new today. I hope you've all enjoyed what you had to hear. And if so, please share A Beer with Mike with your friends, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.